So
Wesley Snipes really let himself go.
oh dear, god damn. So yeah, so basically, this public meltdown's been glorious. It's been really quite fun, to be honest. She obviously got cancelled and fired, right? Her show got cancelled. So she's not got a job anymore. He's not got a job anymore. And so she was at this like Essence Awards a few days after being dismissed. This is a little bit old, but it just popped up, and I was like, God, this is too funny not to talk about. Quite frankly, why not? And she says that black women are living at a time of theft, and that in each of the spaces black people exist, black women, or is what she was referring to specifically, we tend to be the best. I mean, I don't know what metric she's working with. I don't know what data set she's got, but anecdotally, I can say that's not the case, but okay.
The best at smashing up Waffle Houses for no reason.
Yeah. Or McDonald's.
Got my order wrong. I'm going to rip this place apart. Oh, for God's sake. So I just thought this was comical.
3 mayonnaise packets.
I've seen a lot of those videos, like on Twitter.
Oh,
and stuff.
They're everywhere. Everywhere.
Like it's animal savagery. Like, someone got your order wrong, so you're going to go and like try and put their head in a deep fat fryer. Like, are you mental?
Yeah, jumping the counter.
Barbarian. Oh, barbarian's too good, I think. It's just savage. It's absolute savagery. It's mental. So basically, she was doing a public speak. She was obviously paid to speak at this event, I would imagine. So yeah, she had a speaking appearance at the luncheon, the Hollywood Awards, the Essence Women in Hollywood. So black women are living at a time of theft, right? So she says, our opportunity to participate in this democracy is being threatened. Tell me if you can figure out what she's trying to say here. We are losing the service, potentially, of federal workers who are disproportionately us in the service that we disproportionately give.
She's trying to say that we, as a race, are involved to the very foundations of government, and we can't be fired, but it looks like we're now getting fired, so we won't be able to have enough influence or as much influence as we did by screwing people. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you understand, none of these words actually like make sense in a sentence.
Yeah, I was
we are losing the service.
Well, I was just trying to like translate for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I know, but right. I want to absolutely painstakingly pick her apart to just reveal how monumentally retarded she actually is.
Coach is right, of course, but yeah, that's terrible English, isn't it? It's like it's not really coherent.
Well, she maybe she took speaking lessons from Kamala Harris, because that sounds like something she would say, to be honest, doesn't it? This absolute waffle word salad. So she continues, and obviously the crowd was going mental. They love her, of course. Those of us who are in the United States military, who are being told that our history cannot be taught in military academies, that our photos cannot be shown on their websites, because that is DEI, as if diversity, equity, and inclusion is not a great thing. Great for who? Who does it benefit? Who's it great for? Is it great for society at large? Probably not. Probably not. Is it good for one certain demographic? Yeah, probably.
Do you remember crime? Do you guys remember that game Chutes and Ladders when you were a kid, or Candyland?
I remember Snakes and Ladders.
Okay, Snakes and Ladders might have been what it was called in the UK. It was Chutes and Ladders in the US. You remember when you played that game and if you land on a certain spot, you got to take the shortcut?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what this is for minorities, a shortcut.
Yeah. DEI stands for didn't earn it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's basically, I see DEI as just essentially anti-whiteism, because that's what it boils down to. Less whites, just fewer white people. That's so it's
that's
horrible.
unequivocally what it is. Like it doesn't benefit like it targets it targets white people, pushing them down whilst lifting others up. And it is only black people that it lifts up. It's not, I mean, in this country it probably lifts up Muslims as well. But it doesn't lift up like Japanese people. I don't see them being uplifted and pushed into, specific jobs. I don't see Vietnamese, the Malaysians that live in the States. I don't see them being pushed up the ladder. It's very, very specific, which is pretty obvious.
Came out in it was either Congress or it was either congressional hearing or a Senate hearing where they showed that the Ivy League universities. It was really disproportionately affecting like Asian American Koreans, those people that have actually got really high IQs and overachieve, and if everything was fair, would go to places like Harvard and Yale, and that they were just being disproportionately discriminated against as well.
Well, Bo, I'm sorry, but Joy Reid, he's got something to say about that. Okay, all right. So Reid went on to speak about the power of diversity and inclusion efforts, saying that DEI policies, they're a gift to the corporations and to the entities that they serve. But continues further. It's amazing, honestly. This country is becoming more diverse, whether you like it or not. It sounds like a threat. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
And so, if you want to sell dollies, you're going to need a black mermaid, because all the little black and brown girls want to see themselves in those characters. All right. Equity is important because we black women come in knowing we have to be better, more educated, stronger, more prepared than anyone else when we walk into a room. And so we are. So they're better, more educated. They're better prepared. They're stronger than everyone else. Apparently, that's a clear confirmation from His Lordship Joy Reid.
That's why they need all these handouts, because they're stronger.
Don't say that. All right, don't acknowledge that. That's not allowed. Okay, that doesn't happen. And so in each of the spaces that we exist, we tend to be the best. And that equity is not just equity for us, it's equity for those companies and organizations that we serve. It makes their organizations better, and inclusion is just reality. There's nothing you can do to reverse the tide that is making this a more diverse country. Again, sounds like a threat. Mental. And then it says this: African Americans who've struggled through loss and lack and enslavement and Jim Crow, we believe more than anyone in this country in the rights, the freedoms, and the constitutions that did not include us. Because she's trying to say about democracy, and it's like, mate, like a lot of black people voted for Trump, so a lot of black people are on board with getting rid of all of this, because a lot of black people don't want these handouts. A lot of black people, when they get hired, they want to actually go there and go, yeah, I got hired because I was actually good, rather than a sloppy second pile of nonsense. They want to actually look at themselves in the mirror with a sense of pride, where they can sit there and go, yeah, I did this, I earned this, I am actually good, and that's the reason why I was hired, rather than I don't know, looking in the mirror and just being concerned that maybe someone felt sorry for you or incentivized by a shareholder.
Yeah.
Anyway,
because the company had to meet that quota,
Yeah, this is one of those times that I reserve for very special occasions. Bitch, please. I'm like, this is 100% garbage, and she knows it's garbage. She doesn't even understand what the word equity means. It's like, well, we come in better and more prepared and yada yada. That's not equity, bitch. That's being qualified for your fucking job. You know, equity means you have the same outcome, whether or not you have the same skills or talent. You're a fucking maroon. You're a joke. And they got rid of you because you are a racist piece of shit. And they didn't want to have you as a liability hanging around as they're trying to rebuild and salvage a cable network channel that may not be here in 2 or 3 years because Comcast is kicking your ass to the curb.
Anyway. God, that really riled you up, didn't it, Culture, mate? That's 2 F-bombs.
Culture's
you're right.
on a roll.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
he's right.
please. Okay.
Do you guys remember? Here's another good analogy. Do you guys remember the very first Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire, where Norman Osborn is trying to give him a job, and he's like, "No, I couldn't accept. You know, I can earn it on my own." You know, there's a lot of people in the minority community that are that guy or girl. They want to earn it on their own. Morgan Freeman's been on record multiple times saying he doesn't want a Black History Month. He doesn't want to be referred to as African American. He's just an American, just like every other American. You know, he's advocated for just not talking about race and racism because it just constantly just keeps feeding that machine of this racist narrative when you just keep on talking about it, when in actuality the vast majority of people are not racist at all. You know, but they try to push that out there. You know, so yeah, Joy Reid is a freaking clown. Yeah,
the demand for racism far outweighs or exceeds the supply of it.
And a lot of these people, I mean, they make money off of pushing this racism narrative. A lot of people in media, a lot of content creators, you know, they monetize this. This is their thing. They make money on pushing this narrative.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Go on, Bo. You got some.
You know, absolutely. It's this dude's whole career, isn't it? I mean, yeah, it's his whole career. And cope, isn't it? I mean, the chip on this dude's shoulder, it can be seen from space. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's such cope because we all know the exact opposite is true. We're the best. We're the most educated. No, you're not. No, you're not. As a general rule. No, you're not. No, I'm afraid not. And you know it, and everyone knows it. So there it is. Cope and see all you want. And yeah, I mean, she can barely sort of speak correctly. So I mean, that's it. We're starting to come out of this complete craziness. People like her getting the sack, and some of the big corporations, even if it's to their own chagrin, are being sort of forced one way or another to sort of back away from this stuff, or they lose so much money. As Culture said, even like whole networks are staring down the barrel of completely imploding because of it. And so, yeah, and so the average person is getting to the point where they're just like, I just don't care. Like someone like Joy Reid starts ranting about black women and how great they are, how they're the most educated in any given room, and it's just like, I don't care. I I turn the TV on from time to time, and I'll just turn it on, and there'll be some new show, and within a few seconds I'll see that it's all DEI actors, and I just turn it over, I'll just turn it off straight away. I was like, I don't care about this. I don't get it. Some little Indian woman is the chief of police. Oh, don't care, turn it off. Some big fat black woman is the president of the United States. Oh, don't care. Next thing. I'll read a book then.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
People have had enough.
Yeah, Joy Reid, she's so smart and so well educated and so great. She was literally struggling on a major news network to get 60,000 views in a night. We have videos on our own channel. We're a Small Potatoes channel that have like 10 times that amount of 60,000 views. So, like, she's insane.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get an audience with a massive corporation's backing, you are like insufferable. Like people don't want to know you at all, right? Like a massive corporation's backing and you can't get an audience. Holy fuck. Like, what does that say? You know, about the corporation as well as you. Like, Jesus.
Those woke tards at the View, they'll be next to go, hopefully. God, they're terrible.
Because white guilt can only take them so far, and they've absolutely rinsed that.
Yep.
Right. There is still some white boomers who still care about it and will do to the end of life. But most white people now are just like, they're exhausted by it. It's like, yeah, I did sort of clutch my pearls with you back in 2012. Yeah, I did sort of pretend to be wringing my hands, at least in public, back in 2017. But now it's you've done, it's enough. It's enough. And I don't care. I don't care about the specter of Jim Crow. Come on.
Well, and what dummies like her don't realize is Jim Crow was a fucking Democrat.
Yep.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some super chats about this one. Gary Thomas has super chatted $5 and says, as a lifelong member of the black community, allow me to translate. Black women spend years getting useless degrees in subjects like African American studies, and when all is said and done, the only jobs they can get are in the federal government. Also, black women like to say they are the most educated demographic in America. It's actually they're the most educated demographic in the United States in comparison to their male counterparts. Asian men are actually the most educated demographic.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you
I
know what?
that.
They kick butt, which is why they were actively keeping them out of Ivy League universities here in the States, because they were kicking everybody's butt. I'm like, okay, that is anti-affirmative action if ever I've seen it. Like, come on now.
The test scores at Harvard, and this was actually a legit thing, for whites had to be, it was like either 30 or 40% higher test scores for them to get in compared to blacks and minorities.
That's crazy.
It's disgusting. I mean, it's just corporate sanctioned and societally sanctioned racism that we've just put ourselves through for a weird ass fever dream that hopefully we're waking up from.
Plus, of course, being quote unquote educated doesn't actually mean anything at all, because it depends what education. It depends.
It's more like indoctrinated.
It depends if it made you a more rounded, intelligent, or even a wise person or not. So I've got a couple of degrees. I've been through the university system for years and years and years on end. You get people that come out the other end. I know people that got PhDs that I would firmly class as stupid people, both in the sense that they're not particularly quick or witty, but also that their actual general knowledge isn't particularly deep. Right. And yet they've got a PhD. On paper, they're as educated as someone can be. And yet they're not clever in any way, far from being wise. Right. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything. As you say, you could get degrees nowadays in just like, gender studies or something. And so you're sort of, it doesn't mean anything to have a degree necessarily.
I think I always classified. So you got two types, right? You got knowledge, which is the ability to retain information and regurgitate it on one specific topic, right? That's knowledge. But then you've got intelligence, the ability to disseminate information and critically analyze and form opinions and judgments and patterns based on that information. And not many people are intelligent. There's lots of knowledgeable people in the world, but you can be knowledgeable and not intelligent. And I think there's distinctions between the two.
Yeah, I'd agree with that for sure.
That's always how I've sort of categorized it anyway. Anyway, there you go. Bit of fun to get started. You know, this guy's public meltdown continues. So yeah, just thought we would have a good bit of fun with that. We will move on from that now.